Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. We're going to talk about Rooster Teeth again because it's another day, another drama with Rooster Teeth. I had a friend kick this over yesterday and I had no idea any of this was going on. Now, we talked about Joel Heyman getting gone from the company under dubious circumstances and with no public acknowledgement. And now Mica Burton is coming out. Mica Burton, daughter of LeVar Burton, coming out against the company too and saying she did not feel supported when she was there, that the company made a big deal about being, or has recently made a big deal about being progressive, but they aren't practicing what they preach. We see this a lot. This is a pattern. It seems like those who talk the most tend to do the least, and we have seen this with many companies, frankly, virtue signaling like crazy, especially with everything going on right now, and then we find out later that, you know what, you guys weren't actually practicing any of this, were you? So I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with Mica Burton because I don't follow Rooster Teeth's live action stuff very closely. I follow them more for the animation and that sort of thing, but she was an on-air personality, and I did a little research and I looked into I guess what was an infamous rant about racial relations at Rooster Teeth, and her video, she seems pretty solid. She seems pretty based. I don't think I would consider her a quote-unquote SJW or anything. She actually seems like you know, she's pretty even keel about things. And you know, she seems like a genuinely cool person. And you know, you would think that she would fit in really well at Rooster Teeth. She just seems like, you know, one of the dudes, right? But that apparently was not the case, which, you know, we're going to talk about. And she's putting Rooster Teeth on blast because now a lot of her coworkers are coming out and saying, you know, we should have supported you a little bit more, and we didn't, and we're sorry, you know. But again, I think where the problem lies in Rooster Teeth is that they've tried very hard to appeal to progressives in the last couple of years, and then it turns out that they weren't practicing that. And this is just another example. We had people coming to us back channel, people who worked in the animation arm of Rooster Teeth coming to us back channel and saying that the working conditions were deplorable. Again, this is not something you would expect from a company that tried to present itself as being progressive. You know, that they were treating their people badly, that there was a lot of crunch, and you know, that Gray Haddock, when it came to Genlock, was kind of out of control, and things were not working very well. But we're going to talk a little bit about this before we get into Mica Burton, what she said. I just want to point out, you know, that she is the daughter of LeVar Burton. Again, I don't watch a lot of Rooster Teeth's live action content, so I wasn't even aware. You know, so her dad is propping her up on Twitter, backing her up, and I want to point this out too, because this is very important, especially with everything that's going on right now. LeVar Burton reading Rainbow. You know, LeVar Burton said, "So proud of you for speaking your truth, kiddo. I know you've been holding this in for 4 long years. As a company, Rooster Teeth failed you in your right to work in an environment absent of blatant racism. Hopefully now they will address their toxic company culture." And again, as I understand it, I don't work there. I've never worked there. But we did have a lot of people coming to us back channel, and some of these people I know are on the level, and they said, yeah, the culture at Rooster Teeth, even beyond racism, is toxic. They're putting on this front. It's all a facade. They say they're progressive. They say they're cool. They say they're all of these things. They're just a bunch of geeks hanging out and doing cool geek stuff together. But the reality is that you know, they're hiring abusers. Apparently there's racism at the company. Apparently they're treating their people like dirt for crunch time. It's all a sham. You know, it's all a sham. That is my understanding, which is horrible because, you know, obviously beyond the people having to go through that, you know, working there, but, you know, that's not how this company started. the company started, it was just something these guys did for fun, and they were geeks, and they were taking their love of geek culture and going online and doing something cool with it, and now it's turned into what it is now. And I fully expect Warner Media to just absorb them into Cartoon Network at some point. I've heard this from multiple people, that is a long-term plan, that Rooster Teeth, as it is right now, will probably cease to be. And who knows what's going to happen long term. But yeah, for LeVar Burton to come out and say, as a company, Rooster Teeth failed you. They failed you. And we'll look at some of these replies. But you know, what's really important here is in all of this is LeVar Burton saying, speaking your truth, because not everybody's truth is the same. You know, not everybody feels the same about issues, and we have to look at individuals as individuals, and we don't anymore. Everybody wants to just kind of lump people in with one group or another, and Mica Burton's experience there is going to be filtered through her own personal truth. And like I said, she seems like she's pretty cool. She seems like she's a pretty cool person. I don't think she's one to, you know, just start screaming about, you know, racism or sexism or whatever. I mean, God, it's the world's so crazy now. We've got white women, Karens, telling black women what to think, you know, about the situations going on right now, about the protests and all of that. And that's not right, because again, you know, people have a right to their own truth based on their own personal experiences. So if Rooster Teeth is racist to their staffers, litigate. So far, this seems like slander. I don't know about that. They hire domestic abusers. My man, Mica Burton. This is Mica Burton. We're sorry if we failed you in making you feel welcome into the community. Rooster Teeth has been a terrible company for a long time. I unfollowed Rooster Teeth on Tuesday when they came out with their podcast, The Fake Outrage, and the we as a community need to do better was crap. That's what we're talking about. That's what, God, this is what we talked about in the previous video, where all these companies are tripping over themselves to virtue signal, be like, we're one of the good guys. We're good people. We're not racist. Everybody else who doesn't copy paste this JPEG, they're the racist ones. They are. And it turns out that they're, you know, not too good themselves. We saw this happen with the Vic Mignogna situation, where they were very, very quick to throw him under the bus, but apparently some of their own people were participating in some shenanigans. You know, so again, it's fake outrage, it's faux outrage. It's about looking like you're one of the good guys when you're actually not, and it's fake, and people are starting to see through it. You know, if you're gonna signal, then you got to practice what you preach. So anyway, let's go out to what Mica Burton has been saying. And some of these tweets I think were taken down. But here's the thread. I've been very quiet about my experience with Rooster Teeth, but with now the vocalization of regret, lack of support from my ex-coworkers, I can say with confidence I didn't leave because of the community. I left because of the company. Very important, because you know what the narrative is going to be, right? The toxic fans drove her away. Those toxic racist fans drove her away, and she's saying, no, that's not what happened. In fact, in that video I watched of her from a couple of years ago, she said, yeah, she got used to the N-word and she just found creative ways to block it. That wasn't the problem. The problem was the people at the company. So, and then you've got, you know, we should, like, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Let's make a big deal about it. Let's make a big deal about it. Muriel Saucedo. You know, her Twitter username, F racists. And she's like, we should have spoken out sooner. Well, yeah, maybe you should have. Is Mica Burton, does she have F racists in her, and she actually is a black woman? Does she have F racists as her username on Twitter? No. Does she make a big deal of having all of her political views in her bio? Does she have her pronouns in her bio? No. You know? But all these people that are signaling that I've got my bio, in my bio I've got my pronouns and I've got all my political views and I'm gonna, you know, F racist, and it turns out that she felt like she wasn't supported at Rooster Teeth. Do you see how two-faced this is? You know, these people, they're constantly talking about, you know, rights for this group or that group, and it turns out that they're not practicing what they preach. I'm glad the penny has dropped for them a lot. Yeah, that's progress, but that does not change being abandoned, blacklisted, ignored, and most of all, not believed. When "is your dad going to hate us now" was a bigger concern than my well-being, I knew I had to go. So they were more concerned about what LeVar Burton would think of them than what Mica was apparently going through. You know, and again, it's her truth. What was she going through? Maybe a statement will come, maybe it won't. This isn't about me right now. I just couldn't sit by and see myself mentioned constantly without speaking for myself. Take this pain and anger and let's make a change. Let's get active. I do not want hate thrown on my behalf. Channel those emotions into positive actions. Here are some resources. She sends a link. Wow. Okay, first of all, I had no idea you left Rooster Teeth. Well, apparently they didn't make a formal statement. That seems to be the way things are going there now, right? That seems to be the way things are going. People leave Rooster Teeth, and there's no mention of it in public. Second, I was still watching when you made that speech on OT. It really stuck with me, especially the part about how growing up you wished you were white. That broke my heart. I watched the video. She seems very sincere. Again, I don't think I would call her a quote-unquote SJW, because the difference with the SJWs is that they make a big show about how progressive they are, and then they show by their actions that they're actually very regressive. That's all a show. It's all for show. The amount of people acting like this is news just aren't paying attention. Well, I don't watch their live action stuff. Word, it feels like they just discovered a new land. People's bubbles are surely being popped today. Miles Luna, writer, director, voice actor for RWBY. I remember hearing about off-topic drama and thinking, sounds like Achievement Hunter's got some issues to sort out. I looked the other way and went about my business when I could have done something to help. I'm ashamed of that decision, and I'm sorry. Somebody called him out. You've literally tweeted the N-word, and you recently said Tifa was dressed like a whore. You were more than happy to ignore racist and sexist comments that coworkers were getting. Apologies mean zip if you don't actually do something to fix your own sexist and racist actions. Again, the people who make the biggest shows in public about not being racist and not being homophobic and not being sexist and all of that, they tend to be covering. This is why it always sends a red flag to me when somebody makes a big deal about saying, I'm a good person. I'm like, why do you have to tell me you're a good person? Show me you're a good person. You don't have to tell anybody you're a good person if you're legit a good person, you know, but we're seeing this. And here we have Matt from Rooster Teeth. Mica, this is heartbreaking. I apologize for not supporting you more vocally, both personally and company-wide. You suffered real hate, and I wish I had done far more. I'm sorry. I'm proud of the work you did. Thank you for pushing me to do better. It's happening to Fiona now. What are you going to do about it? So brave to post this now. Instead of shit posting, you could actually contribute something positive to the conversation. Here we go. This is what we're hearing back channel. Please know that I say this as a longtime Rooster Teeth fan with the utmost respect. Many people have been hurt by Rooster Teeth not doing enough to protect them. What are you going to do to change it? Honestly, this is a serious question because there's no better time to establish change than the present. The Rooster Teeth company over the years has started to become a far cry of what it used to stand for. It hurts to see so many ex-employees have harsh outlooks with Rooster Teeth and fans. We have people coming to us back channel. Many of them, I would think, are pretty progressive, saying that Rooster Teeth, the public Rooster Teeth, is a very, very different company from what it is behind the scenes. We're seeing so many people coming out now and saying this company is trash, you know, and that is heartbreaking because they were kind of YouTube before YouTube, right? They were kind of doing the independent video thing in the community building before YouTube was a thing. And for a lot of people, they felt like a safe haven, you know, of geekdom. And it's coming out that they're not. They really aren't. I hope it's sincere, Matt. I've loved Rooster Teeth content for a literal decade, but all the stories coming out in recent years paint a dark picture that makes me feel ashamed. Rooster Teeth can do better. It should have been doing better all along, and I hope you will. Words are nice, but I think the community as a whole would like to see solid action in a public statement. I've watched many of my favorite personalities leave Rooster Teeth over the years, who have all kept silent as to the reasons. This is a trend too. Again, we wouldn't be slamming on Rooster Teeth as hard as we have been if it wasn't a pattern where people get gone for many reasons and there's no statement. And there doesn't seem to be any public statement. So there's a celebrity gossip blog out there on LiveJournal. LiveJournal, is that still a thing? That talks about the situation. They've got some of the tweets in here. We have Jeff Ramsey. We have, Jeff said that, thank you for picking up the phone and taking the time to talk today, and thank you for allowing me to listen. I'll be 45 in about a week, and at 25, you've taught the shit out of me. We're never too old to learn. We've got Matt's statement. We've got Barbara Dunkelman. I wasn't there for Mica like I should have been. I should have stood up for her, been there for her, been vocal, and fought back against the hate she was receiving, but I wasn't and I didn't. She and so many others are helping me learn what it truly means to be an ally. Again, you know, kind of after the fact, isn't it? Gavin, I need to admit I have said horrible things in failed attempts to be funny over the years, and you helped me see how my own privilege blinded me to the seriousness of my actions. I should have spoken up publicly for you more, and have been so thankful for your guidance and friendship. Of course, we have LeVar Burton's statement. Now, you know, here's the thing though. She's not really going into a whole lot of detail as to what happened, but I'm checking out the comments, and you know, people are like, they're a notoriously shitty company, and then, which we know, we've talked about this, you know, a lot of people have had opinions on Rooster Teeth, but then we get down in here. I didn't expect anything less from a company that's built on being gamer do-bros with few women mascots. There's no worse form of life than male gamers. It's a wonder to even get this little now. F Rooster Teeth, and I say this as a former watcher, honestly can't think of worse life forms than male gamers. I know there are good people in the gaming community, but so long as it continues to be dominated by white men, it will never get better. So it's, you know, everybody's got their opinions, right? Everybody's got their opinions. There probably won't be a formal statement. I don't know. Rooster Teeth, they tend to sweep all the bad news under the rug, don't they? Yeah, so I'm going to wrap this one up. We're going to keep an eye on it because we're seeing a lot of weirdness, more weirdness with Rooster Teeth. And wow, I don't want that on there. More weirdness in regards to Rooster Teeth and their employees leaving, getting gone, no statements being made, reasons why they left. It is a pattern, and it seems to affect employees across the political and racial spectrum. That there's bigger problems at Rooster Teeth culturally, and even Mica Burton is saying it wasn't the community. It wasn't even people calling me names or any of that. It's the company itself is not good. So I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, and we will talk later. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.